You're in Brian's chair. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Candidates Forum hosted by the Rossburn Chamber of Commerce. I'm Kelly Hunter. I'm the president of the Rossburn Chamber. As an organization, it's important to provide an avenue for community members and candidates alike to relay their platforms and issues important to them. Just a reminder, due to time constraints, not all questions may get asked. Please contact the candidates at a later time if needed. And so now I'd like to turn you over to our moderator, Brian Brown.
Thanks, Kelly. Welcome, everyone. We're going to try to keep this as simple as we can. All of the candidates will have a chance to speak first for 2 minutes. Mr. Curry down there with the big stick. End of 2 minutes, you're done. Finish the sentence you're on, move on. The questions that we've gone through, we've weeded out some of them. There's a few there that were like a personal attack on people. You can't do that. So they're more of a general question, and anybody up here that wishes to answer them can do so. I'd like to thank the Rossburn Municipality for the use of this hall and 45 Networks, Steve, for the live streaming, because there are a whole bunch of people at home just waiting to see you on the screen. At the end, everyone, there will be snacks. So we will move right on. So we're going to start basically with the way they were listed in the paper. So where are we? We'll do the mayor first. So Shirley Kellenick, you have your 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Brian. Good evening, fellow candidates. Thank you very much to the Chamber for organizing this event. For those who may not know me, I am Shirley Kellenick and have been a resident since 1975. I was a councillor for 10 years and the mayor for 21 years prior to the amalgamation. My promise to each and every ratepayer is I will do my best, work hard, and that all issues shall be dealt with in the council chambers. No favoritism or preferential treatment. Everyone should be treated with respect. There will be, as I traveled through the municipality, I went to every area of the rural municipality, and I'm sorry that I missed some of the farmers, but having farmed at one time, I totally understand that your work needs to be done and how important all farmers are to us. I heard and saw firsthand some of the issues that are out there, and they were also brought to my attention. I am committed to our community and recognize that taking care of the place where we live and work is a privilege and is a social responsibility. Accountability, common sense, communication, dedication, and teamwork are all the key to get Rossburn back on the map in a good way. Times are tough, but let's come together, work together, and on October 26th, vote for me so we can accomplish much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shirley. Next on the list, Calvin Kraszewski.
Hello, guys. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. For who doesn't know me, I'm Calvin Kraszewski. I farmed, been born and raised here my whole life. I stood here 4 years ago saying I wanted to fix roads and help the community do stuff, and I believe I have. I would have to say the reason I'm running for mayor is the stars all aligned. Our current mayor didn't want to run. I ended up getting 2 full-time hired men that gave me time to do stuff. And I thought this is the perfect time to steer the boat in the right direction and move forward with our community. I've worked well with all our employees. You can find me doing extra things that I don't have to do. My phone's always open. I take calls at 10 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning. People are phoning and asking questions. I don't know what to really say. People that know me, and I'm here for the community right through. I got kids in school. I got a wife that has a business in town. and I farm, so I have interest in all three things. I love the outdoors. Hopefully you vote for me on October 26th.
Thank you, Kelvin. Okay, and for councillor, we'll start at the top here with Stephen Sawchuk.
Hi everybody, thanks for coming out tonight. My name is Stephen Sawchuk and I live in Rossburn. I've decided to run for this council position because growing up on a farm, I've dealt firsthand with major problems with the roads, and it's to the point where you can't drive down the road anymore. Like there's heavy grass on the side, and now the council went and they hired a subcontractor to do all the work. Meanwhile, our own equipment is sitting, nobody to run the tractor, so I'll try my best to keep everything rolling here smooth and maintain the roads and the culverts, and we're gonna try and get some, like a crime watch going into town here for the older citizens to make them feel more safe at home. And yeah, that's about it. I hate being the first one to speak, but thanks everybody.
Thanks, Stephen. Next on the list, Drew Van Landingen.
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Drew Van Landingen and I'm running here for council. Since I moved out here 8 years ago, I've made it a point to try to be as involved as I can in the community. I've served on our rec department for about 5 years now. I've been on the fire department for I think 6. I'm very active at RCI where I teach. I run a lot of extracurricular activities, or I help out with them. I shouldn't say I run them all. Since I came here, I've fallen in love with Rossburn, and I'm not going anywhere. You're stuck with me. I want to do everything I can to make this town even better than it already is. I've bought my house. I'm staying. I know that there is a lot of people in town right now that are concerned with some of the things we're seeing. I've heard a lot of people talk about how they're worried about crime, drug use, things like that. And I know we don't have the same presence we did when the RCMP was here. They were leaving right about the time I was coming in, I think. I'd like to work together with the community to try to create some sort of neighborhood watch. Hopefully we could look out for each other. If we do see problems, we could notify the police in a timely fashion. I think maybe we should look at using cameras in certain places to serve as a tool that could be recording evidence of things, or possibly just deterring people who might not have the best of intentions. In addition to this, I think we need to focus on trying to keep as many people as we have and getting more families to grow this town and make it even larger, so we have the base to keep offering all the services we have and hopefully get a few more. If I'm elected, I can't promise I'll do everything perfect, unless you're willing to believe me on that, in which case I totally will. But I'll give it my best, and there you go.
Thanks, Drew. Marilyn Lawless.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marilyn Lawless, and I'm running for the council position. I was raised in the RM of Harrison Park to a hardworking mom and dad. I graduated from Rossburn Collegiate and moved on to Brandon for a short time to take my early childhood education program. I graduated and headed back to Rossburn to begin my career and my family. We have 2 children, Jonathan, who recently married his wife, Rory, and are both in university in Brandon, and McKenna, who is in grade 12. After completing my college education, I went back to the area with my husband, Lauren, for 23 years, and we started up L&M Services Garage. And I also opened my own home daycare in town. I now manage the daycare in town, Rossburn Early Learners. I went back to school in 2016 to complete my advanced diploma in childcare management. I personally have been involved in many boards throughout the years with my children. I currently sit on the Parkway Co-op board for the past 14 years. I feel I have time that I can get back to my community. My daughter will be graduating and moving on. And I feel this is a perfect time to devote to my time to make our community an age-friendly, community-driven, and people-first community. I believe in the small town, and our municipality has lots to offer. Vote for me because I'm honest, hardworking, and willing to learn to push to get the information and answers you need. If I don't have the answers, I will find the right one for you. I'm eager to work for the greater good of our community. Therefore, I'm willing to work alongside my fellow councillors and associates to do the best for our community, for the future of our community. I only want what's best for my family and yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. We now call on John Kostecki.
Good evening. My name is John Kostecki. I'm running for councillor in the Rossburn Municipality. I would first like to thank Kelly Hunter and the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this forum, and also Alicia Grassinger and the Rec Department for producing the special edition of the Rossburn Matters. It is a great tool for the candidates to get their message out. I'm not going to stand here tonight and promise you the world and how I'm going to fix all our problems. We, like everywhere else, have our deficiencies. On October 26th, you, the voters, have a job to choose from this group. The 6+1 leader that you think has what it takes to meet the challenges of fixing these deficiencies. The people who can work together to form plans and strategies to get things done with a set budget, within a set budget, sorry. I, along with my wife and family, just came through 2 years of business closures, personal and financial struggles, and we made it. Amongst that, we formed a partnership with 2 other people and formed 3 thriving businesses. I enjoy working with others. I thrive on problem solving. I believe I have the skill set to get things done. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Rick Strank. Where's Rick?
Evening, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm Rick Strank, running for councillor in the next municipal election here. I'm the 3rd generation Rossburn resident, born and raised in southwestern Ontario. After high school graduation, I lived in various communities in Alberta, served in the RCMP for 20 years. In the 80s and 90s, I was engaged in cattle farming, and after retirement from the force, I worked in commercial construction. We moved to Rossburn in 2014. We purchased an old home, started building, got our plans together in 2016, and been a work in progress ever since. Since moving to Rossburn, I've volunteered in many various community activities and have been attending council meetings for the past 2.5, maybe close to 3 years on a regular basis. With the pressures of municipal, provincial, and federal governance, the community needs to get on track with issues that directly affect the daily lives of all our residents, families, and businesses. I believe we need to have more transparency at the municipal level. We need to work together as a community to secure and maintain services. We need to address local policing issues, and we need to strike a balance between fiscal responsibility and property taxes. If elected, I'll do my best to achieve this goal. I'm approachable and a good listener, so feel free to contact me with any concerns or ideas you may have to help our community grow and get on track. Thank you. Everybody get out and vote. It's your voice, October 26th. Thank you very much.
At this rate of going here, we'll be done by 7:30. Ray Armbruster, you're next.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I also would like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring this event. It's a very valuable opportunity. Fellow candidates, if this was a horse race, we'd have a full gate. Anyway, a little bit of my background. We moved here, our family, in 1976 to a farm north of Rossburn by Riding Mountain National Park. Over the years, we ran a tourist business out of there. We did trail riding, pack trips into Riding Mountain National Park. We raised 3 children. 2 of them have come back to the community and live and work and farm alongside of us. Over the years, I've been involved in many of the organizations. Been involved in minor hockey, coached minor hockey, senior hockey. Been involved in the past with the Ag Society. Some of the other local events, I've chaired the Riding Mountain Biosphere Reserve. Some of my national and provincial experience, I've been with the Manitoba beef producers and president there, along with the Canadian Cattlemen's Association for 7 years. Also worked for the government with PFRA for 9 years. And I've had a lot of experience from working with various stakeholders in all levels of government. I'll briefly touch on a few things that I think are serious concern, and you've heard some of them already. Law enforcement, emergency services, and I expect we'll have some questions and we can flesh them out more deeply as the evening goes on. Those are key important issues. People want to feel safe in their community. 2, I think as a municipality for our community, we have to build some capacity to provide services and for our members. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Ed Buds?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, everyone watching this live stream forum, moderator Brian, and fellow candidates. It has been an honor to serve as councillor for the past 4 years, and I thank the citizens who nominated me to stand for re-election this year. Why did I let my name stand for re-election? If elected, I feel I can provide a measure of continuity between the present council and the one to be elected on October 26th. There are projects and services to keep addressing and working on. Operating between budgets and per longer-term strategies must continue to be the focus. I would like to see the completion of the Main Street revitalization project, with paving still scheduled to be done this fall. Rural roads must always remain a priority with the application of good gravel, good road maintenance, bridge and culvert replacements, and continued roadside scrubbing to accommodate today's farmers' needs. Urban water and sewer systems. Sewer manholes require repair and maintenance. Many water curb stops in town are no longer functioning, along with the subdivision and resort water systems still requiring resolution. Our municipal landfill situation, still somewhat unresolved to meet provincial guidelines. We have completion of a major urban sidewalk repair and replacement project for which we received grants. Public safety has become a real concern. Council must continue to liaison with the RCMP to receive the surveillance, the presence, and the investigative services we so need. Council must be supportive of community growth initiatives and to work to sustain and enhance facilities and services we treasure, like schools, medical services, and much, much more. I do have the time and experience to serve as your councillor. I commit to serving with integrity, honesty, transparency, always being available to hear constituents' concerns. Please exercise your right to vote and consider my name as one of your councillors. Thank you.
Thanks, Edward. Tracy Wojcichin.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and fellow candidates, and thank you to the Chamber for tonight. I am Tracy Wojcichin and have lived in our community our whole life. We were married here. I had both our children in our local hospital. We farmed our whole life, and I worked in our facility for 32 years. Then worked casual in Rossburn, Shoal Lake, and in home care. When a permanent position in home care came available, I worked for another 6 years. My life farming has given me the understanding with the roads, the importance of widening them with culverts, bridges, scrubbing, along with a continual need for gravel. access to needs for farmers for chemical, fertilizer, vet services, etc. Working in the hospital, I know firsthand what the struggles are that people deal with in healthcare, accessibility, and struggles for our seniors. Our family also has camped at Rossburn Lake, so I understand the concerns for seasonal campers and cottagers. With selling our farm and retiring at Sunset Point has also given me an understanding of what different development areas have and concerns that affect everyone. I am now retired and have time needed to be a good counselor. I will not make promises that I cannot follow through with. If I cannot give you an answer, I will follow up and get back to you. The decisions that I make will be based on facts, the situation, government, regulations, bylaws, etc., and most important, the budget, as it is your tax dollars, and we must make sure we use it wisely. I will work together with the council, the municipal staff, to come up with the best resolution for everyone in the community. October 26th, I am asking for your vote so I can be your voice. I have a lot to offer and cherish our beautiful community. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to working for you.
Thanks, Tracy. Adam Grabowski.
Thanks, Brian. Good evening. I'm here asking for your support to represent you on Rossburn Municipality Council. For the past 4 years has been a learning curve. A lot has been accomplished and there are plans in place to finish more, but as always, there's still more to do. For one, I believe that Council needs to take a serious look at the concept of contracting services. One advantage is knowing the exact budget for the cost of that service without the need for additional money for unknown maintenance and repair costs of machinery. But this could put municipality at risk by not having our own equipment or the staff to work it. Is the current model we have the best to go? Council needs to remain fiscally responsible in its decisions and understand the actions of budget decisions. Fiscal responsibility can be achieved by hearing from you on topics such as contracting services and or equipment purchases. It would be great to do everything, but everything has a cost. To promise you everything would mean uncontrollable expenses. To add something new means something else is dropped or taxes have to be increased. We must find a balance. Second, we need to address the ever-increasing safety concerns in Rossburn. Continued communication with the RCMP is an important step, but it's not the only one. From community education and awareness to the possible creation of a citizens patrol, together we can work to make Rossburn safer. It will take leadership, and I know I can be a part of that leadership. Third, we need to celebrate the spirit of this community. Whether it's a drive-in movie, Canada Day celebrations, recognizing the volunteers, or our community organizations and teams, I will support and promote these activities to bring community together. To me, it's not about being a part of a committee, it's about bringing enjoyment to the citizens of the community. Finally, as a representative on council, I will continue to review proposed budgets, plans, policies, and contracts, making sure decisions are being made that are in the best interest of the municipality. I'll continue to make myself available for comments, questions, and concerns. And what I can promise you is your voice will be heard, and where I can, I'll bring it to council. On the 26th, I hope you'll vote for me to continue my role as council. And to ask the all-important question to answer is yes, I am a true Rider fan.
I hope you also noticed that the Bombers kicked their ass 3 times. Alicia, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alicia Grassinger. I am your community librarian, a wife, a mother, raising 2 children in the community we all love. I want to be part of our community in a much larger way. We do not need to make council a complicated agenda. Let's keep what's working, let's make better on what can be improved on, and let's question what no longer works for us. We need to be able to trust that all of our staff can do their day-to-day duties without the interference of council members. They have a job to do, and so does council. All council members need to be approachable to all ratepayers, and I would like to see council to be more transparent with where the tax dollars are going and let everyone know what's next. Communication is key. Having quarterly newsletters or utilizing the monthly Rossburn Matters to inform ratepayers on what council has done and are currently working on. The needs of rural and town are very different. But one thing we all need to remember we are one community. No matter where we live within our municipality, we all have concerns. Each concern does not invalidate another person's concern. Council needs to ensure the best possible outcome for all aspects within the municipality by identifying and prioritizing short and long-term goals. Tonight, I stand before you not as a candidate who will involve themselves in the day-to-day operations, but as a candidate who will strive to serve the municipality as a whole to the best of my ability. There will always be people who will know more and always people who will know less than I, but I am more than willing to educate myself to all municipal matters. I will always listen and positively influence others in coming together to achieve common goals within our community. Thank you, and good luck to all candidates running.
Thank you, Alicia. And the last one on the list, Ross Andrew.
Thank you, Brian. It's hard to believe that 4 years have passed since the last candidate forum. It has been a challenging but rewarding 4 years that was complicated by COVID. Hopefully that's in the past and we can focus on the future. So what do I think are some of the main goals going forward, and what are some of the accomplishments of the last 4 years? We must continue to repair and replace aging infrastructure. We have had some success in acquiring funding to replace and repair the major bridges in the municipality, also for the resurfacing of Rossburn Main Street, and funds to help with the sidewalk replacement plan, as well as funding to cost share improvements to the Sunset Point water system. It is imperative that we remain financially responsible. We must strive to maintain services that we currently have in order to maintain and hopefully grow our population. We are dangerously close to a population threshold that may trigger a forced amalgamation with another municipality. It's also important that we continue to build relationships with our neighbors at Wew'suwet'en. Finally tonight, what I believe this municipality really needs is a vision. Where do you want to be in 50 years? We need a vision that can attract people, attract ideas, and hopefully attract local investment. What if we could harness the energy of animosity and focus that energy on the common good? We are blessed in this municipality. We have prime agricultural land, we have an urban community, and we have pristine recreational land. There is room for all of us. I believe we can survive and we can thrive. If re-elected, I pledge to do my very best for the entirement of the entire community. I respectfully ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. Now we have quite a variety of questions. Some of them, I know if you've put it in there and we don't answer it up here, it's not because we didn't want to, it's just that some of them are too complicated for, well, we have 12 people up here and only 3 have been on council really as councillors, so the other 9 really aren't going to know how you derive the budget or what's the percentage of taxes. Stuff like that just doesn't fit. Probably fits more with maybe a council forum 2 years down the road. Anyway, there are a bunch that we can't answer though, or we can get someone to answer. Here's one question. It says, based on what you know about council, what do you see as the top priority for Rossburn and why? Now, anybody up here that can choose to answer or not answer, or anybody got anything on that? Question again. Based on what you know about council, what do you see as the top priority for Rossburn and why?
I think it's important that we work together and that we can bring that spirit that we used to have back into our community and have our volunteer base that we used to have. And everything will work if we can work together. But if we keep fragmenting like we have been, we will never accomplish anything.
Thank you, Shirley. Okay, this person would like to know whether you as a councillor would be interested in hiring a new rec director and putting some programs back in our community as far as usage of the curling and skating rink go. Anybody want to try that one on for size? John?
Let me read it again. Just want to make sure I hit the points.
The Braille version?
A couple more years. I'm on the rec board, and it has been a struggle to keep any kind of programs alive because it's all volunteer. It would be great seeing what we have for money and getting a person from the area. You know, we had Martin from Shoal Lake, and he was the only person that really applied, and he was adequate. If we could get somebody from our community, even on a 3/4 time payment, and have programs for the old and the young and the middle. Yeah.
As the moderator, do you mind if I go back to the first question too? I kind of had a little bit more time to think about it, so I was just wanted to. The first question related to priorities. One of the things, the biggest problem we probably have with Rossburn Municipality is our limited taxation ability. We are a large municipality, but we don't have a lot of access to other ways to tax. So that means we've got to make sure that what our budget decisions are going to be sustainable going into the future, but not going to put a large burden onto the municipality and our taxpayers itself. We got to try and figure out a way that, whether it's being a combination of our current special service levies, the improvement on those ones, and the mill rate, in order to make sure that everyone is paying a fair share, but we get those services that we need. And that's one thing that I believe we need to have for it. The rec direct question, can I go down to there? Good. So the rec direct question, aside from needing a person to maybe organize and have the events, the other thing we need to really push for is getting the volunteers. I joined the rec commission this year as the member of council, and there was, started at one point there was 3 of us, then there was 5 of us, then there was 7, then there was, and went back and forth. But trying to plan activities, it's going to take more spirit from the community to get more people involved. And that means that maybe what we need to do is get out there and drag you guys in. Maybe we should get to the schools and find those people that can come out and help. We did a drive-in movie this year that the Rec Commission kind of organized. It was great. What a beautiful idea. But what else can we bring that brings the community together so that way we can celebrate? We've had 2 years of COVID where a lot of celebration wasn't around. Let's try and get that together. So one of the priorities, aside from looking for someone to help maybe organize, is getting the volunteer spirit out and getting people involved. Thank you.
Drew? On the second one?
Yeah. No, it's okay. I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, a lot more people answering for the second question because there's actually a lot of people that are on the rec committee up here right now. But I think a rec director doesn't need to be full-time, but some form of paid position would be a big help. I mean, I kind of have inside knowledge because I'm one of the people there, and I know that the programs we're doing now, we look around the table and go, okay, who's going to do this one? Who's got the capacity to do a bit more? And everyone's going, I'm tired. I've got my job. I've got, well, not all of us, but I've got family, kids, whatever. I'm kind of at my limit. And we've done a lot of really good stuff that we can be proud of. But without going into details, there's also a couple things we missed out on this year just because nobody had the capacity to take on that much extra volunteer work. So whether it's a paid position, which would be great, whether it's a lot more people willing to help out, that could also be useful, but we do need to get more involvement there if we're going to not only, well, never mind expand the services that we offer, if we're even going to keep what we currently have, because the people there are getting to their limit and they need help.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm finally getting brave enough. I've been going to the council meetings for the last little while, and the question was, what can the council do for, wasn't what council can do for everybody? Well, big thing is everything that they talk about or deal with, is it within the budget? Can we do it? Can we fit this in? Can we do a second pass on the scrubbing? Well, maybe we should leave it to one pass because there's not enough in the budget for that. I think the biggest thing for the council is to keep our community going the way it is, keeping our pockets, every bin that the money's supposed to go into, adequate so that we can keep all our services going. We need to keep promoting to the RCMP to have maybe a rural crime watch, get them in the community. There isn't a lot of money to go around, but we have to keep working at it, and actually more support for the activities in the communities. You go to our neighboring towns, Oakburn, Angusville, they've got committees that are fundraising for their rinks. We do that too, but some of them are really active, and we need to get our communities back to working together, and let's support each avenue of, if it's hockey or curling or whatever we're doing. We're trying to get some pickleball and different things coming into the community so that we have things to do and keep our people happy and busy and not running around on the streets. Thank you.
Alicia?
Recreation is very important. As a parent to young children, I've taken on the role through the library, doing as much programming as I can with no funding. I am on the rec board, and we've done some good things, but there can be more. We need help, and I believe in having a part-time recreation director. I've worked with rec directors in the past. There's so much more that can come out of it when so many more people join forces and get together, and that's what the community is about. And we need stuff. We need pickleball, we need curling, we need skating, but we need the people to help us also. So I think that we should have at least a part-time rec director in aiding that.
Want to take a shot at that one?
For the first question, priorities I would have to say would be our infrastructure. It takes good infrastructure to keep everything flowing properly. For the rec director, I do believe we do need a part-time rec director. And as most of the people say, I'm also on the rec board, so I know what they're talking about. We do need volunteers. Everybody says, oh, we should have this going on in the town. There's only 5 or 6 people that are volunteering all the time. We just need more volunteers to help with stuff. So yes, I do believe we do need a rec director though.
Okay, so we move on to another. We hired the rec director already, right?
Start Monday.
You're hired, Brian.
Okay. What is our opinion on eco-tourism that the current administration feels is the utmost importance for our municipality? Do you feel an economic development officer is a positive to our area? Anybody want to take a run at that one?
Is it a two-part?
You can do it in 2 parts. What is your opinion on eco-tourism? I guess actually 3. What is your opinion on ecotourism, and what does the current administration feel is the utmost importance for our municipality? Do you feel an economic development officer is a positive to our area? Do we have an economic development officer?
We do not.
No. Okay.
Any kind of tourism is good. I mean, I own no hotel. But as far as ecotourism, the word eco, I'm assuming means you don't spend any money getting it. So, I mean, yes. I mean, how could you say no to this? Yeah, so that's that. Economic development officer would be fantastic. I mean, but you need somebody that can economically develop the area. I mean, just someone that pushes a pencil or talks a good game is and takes a paycheck is not going to do it. I don't know if we have to look out of the area. So to answer the question is yes, it would be fantastic, and it can't hurt. It would be very positive, but it has to be the right person. Thank you.
Just regarding the economic development officer, we've tossed that around a few times around the council table, and I have to actually admire the CDC. The new CDC board has really come to life, and I think they're filling that position for us right now. We can't list a whole bunch of things they've accomplished, but they are doing a good job, I feel, in that capacity. And tourism, we can never have enough of that, because tourism brings dollars to our community, and we look forward to it.
Thank you. After 31 years on council, we had tourism, we had economic development, we had a rec director, and for whatever reason, we have slowly eroded and have found that we don't have money for very much of anything anymore. We used to get a government funding for a rec director. We had to put in a certain amount, and the province gave us X number of dollars. I don't know where that's gone. Economic development used to be on that board too. You need someone like, I think as John has said, someone that is, I don't know if we have a person like that, but there could be somebody out there that is extremely talented and can think outside the box. You can't invent anything if you're not imagining, haven't got a good imagination and the will to perhaps work a little bit extra, volunteering some of your time and working together, having a good group of people to work with. And to me, that has always been critical, because we used to have a really good rec director. We had all kinds of programs, and same thing with economic development. That was CDC was there, and I'm not really sure what happened to everything, but I think we need to find out and check into some of these things, because we need activities. We need people to stay healthy, active, and living a good life, and that to me is critical for our community.
All right, so there was 3 parts to that. What's your opinion on ecotourism that the current administration feels is important for our municipality? I mean, any type of tourism would be important to any area, people coming in from outside and spending money. And I think promoting ecotourism, I think that's what we would have the best shot at. Look around, and it's a beautiful place. There's all sorts of lakes. The national park is nearby. We've got plenty of stuff here. We'd have to advertise for it. I mean, we're trying to get people from somewhere else. If we don't advertise what's here, no one's going to know, so that would be something that would take work. What does council feel is most important right now? I don't know. I'm not on council. I'm hoping to be. Do you feel an economic development officer is a positive to our area? Yes, absolutely. I'm sure that would be of benefit. We could probably add any new thing that we don't have right now, and it would have a positive effect for the community. I suppose the question would be, what would we have to do to ensure we are able to afford it? As some people said, every new thing we get either means more taxes or cutting something else. Would an economic development officer be good for Rossburn? Yeah, probably. Now, if we want to get one, what is that? Probably. Now, if we want to get one, what does that mean we have to do? That would be something for us to figure out.
I guess I'm the tall guy here. I guess being in the tourism industry for 17, 18 years, I want to put a sense of reality a little bit into that question. This area, the Rossburn Municipality, our whole region certainly lends itself to tourism, ecotourism, whatever you want to call it. But I also want to, and there's room for those opportunities, but I just want a sense of reality in terms of doing it, that it's a great supplement for a community, various activities. Very seldom it becomes like full-time activities in terms of, I mean, you just go to Clear Lake and have a look in the off-season, and there's a lot of boarded-up places. And I think it's something in terms of, as we go through the bylaw and development regulations coming up, we have to keep all those kind of things in concern. It's been said there's room for everybody, and we don't want to put regulation in place or barriers in place for any kind of growth in this community, if it's agriculture or recreation. So when it gets to recreation, it's a great opportunity, but you probably don't quit your day job and hang your hat totally on recreation either.
Thanks, Ray. Okay, let's move on to something else here. Oh, here's a good one. What is your opinion of reducing the council from 6 positions to 4?
Can we just be like, I'm down for that, or like you would have to get up and make a big thing?
No, the 2 people that get the least votes have to quit.
I'm not sure if that is even okay, because some people can't always make it to a meeting. What does a council need to have a quorum to make a decision or pass anything or do anything? Do you need your 6 people plus the?
Well, no.
Yeah,
no.
like.
You need 4. We could reduce 3 and 1.
You
right?
can reduce to 4? I don't know, because.
But if
can
you
you make
change to a system like this, you probably would change the parameters as well. Yeah.
Well, it'd be a great idea, but I think the reality, working on past boards and things, that you'd need a full-time counselor, so it would just overload them in terms of the committees they'd have to be on. It would be just about full-time positions being a counselor, and I don't think that'd be a very good idea. I wouldn't support that at this time.
Yeah, sneaking up on you. We actually had this conversation in council at some point over the last year when we were looking at, do we change the wards from 1 to 2, to find out that that decision had already been made, so we just have the 1 ward. I, at the time, had said jokingly about the fact, well, actually, maybe we should increase it by 2 and get 9 in here, because we need more voices, we need more opinions, we need to hear more. To reduce down to 4 councillors and a mayor will, while it might limit a cost, someone will say, well, it's a cost savings because you don't have to pay it. But I don't think that will happen, because you're going to put more work on the decision-making of the council members that would be there. We have 3 members of council on most committees. What that allows is 3 voices to share in that point to bring forward to the others, which gives to me more idea of other interpretations, other opinions to be shared. At this point, it is a question that I think needs to be discussed, especially if the citizens and the ratepayers want us to have that conversation. But as it is right now, 7 to me gives strength of Rossburn for any future thing dealing with other municipalities if we ever have to get to that stage. I think for right now, I'm more in support of leaving it at where it is with 6 and plus 1.
Thank you, Brian. I agree with the 2 previous speakers. If you ask the folks who are on council presently, most of them will tell you they're sitting on 6, 7 outside committees. And so once you calculate in your council meetings, your outside committees, if you reduce that to 4, you would have to change those numbers as well. And I believe the cost of time would be overwhelming.
Ed?
I'll maybe just back up to what the other gentleman said. I totally agree. We probably have to stay at 6 right now. There's a lot of committees that I never even knew about when I got elected this time. I served on council before as Reeve, and we had 4 councillors. But we had 2 unincorporated villages in the municipality, and we had elected town boards, 3 members in each town board, who really weren't the decision makers, but they were definitely our right hand in each town. So they assumed a lot of responsibilities. So we had 4 councillors, but in actual sense, we had 10 people working, plus the Reeve. So I think, considering all that we have involved here, we must stay with 6. I would support staying with 6.
These guys make good points, and ladies, sorry, about the 6. I think there should be a way that we could do a performance-based pay, though. The more engaged you are, the more your pay is. I mean, there's some councillors in the past and present that just don't engage in the community whatsoever, and they get paid the same amount for a person that is every day takes 10, 15 phone calls. I don't know how you do it, but I think that's what the question, I'm reading between the lines, but I think that's what the question is asking. Instead of paying 6 people $50,000 for the 4 years, lessen that money or get more performance.
Okay, staying with council meetings, we have a question here. I don't know if everybody's familiar with Nipawa. Their council, all of their meetings are on Zoom. So as Joe Q Public, if you want to see what this council did on July the 15th meeting, you just punch it up and you can watch the whole meeting and hear the whole meeting. So what would your opinion be of doing that? Anybody?
Too late. Too slow. When we first got on council 4 years ago, one of the ways when I talked the last time was transparency. Being able to make sure that the people of the municipality knew what we were doing. And it was one of the things I wanted to see was, can we Zoom out or Skype out or however it is to the public, because it's hard for some people to get in. COVID created a situation where that is easier now. Plus, having the ability of the high-speed internet, I believe, is something that we can do. It is something that I would like to see. It is more, not only is it engaging the membership to either look while it's on live or being able to look at it at a later date. The problem being is, how long will it be? Our council meetings have gone anywhere from 3 hours to 6 hours. Do we use all that time? Do we have to do it by topic? It would take some conversation with a provider to find out how can we best use that so that someone doesn't have to sit there and watch 3 hours of a meeting. Is there a way that we can pinpoint it? It is a good topic to look at and something I believe council should really approach and proceed with if we can make it work.
Well, I mentioned I teach here. I don't know if any of you know this, but some of school has been online for the last couple of years for various reasons. I mean, it was a pain to figure it out when we had to do that, but it was doable, and I suspect it would be a pain to figure out for council, much for the reasons Adam alluded to, but it would be doable. And it would be a good idea. I guess there's probably some sort of stuff that's like maybe confidential if legal things are being discussed that would have to be in camera. I never understood why it's called in camera when you no longer let people see. I thought that would be like off camera, but yeah, by and large, we could definitely be on Zoom or whatever you want to use, and I think that would be great. People would be able to see what's going on a lot easier.
I would definitely support having a camera set up. I know the municipality has taken different steps in buying, there's called the Owl. We are recording something for different meetings. I would love to see every meeting televised or recorded, just for accountability. Because you may have a meeting in January, come April, you're having the same conversation, a councillor may say, I don't remember saying that. You'd be able to go back and find it. I would love to see it for just for the accountability side.
All right. Okay, here's an interesting one. It says, without a ward system, like right now we are one ward, will rural and town issues be of equal importance? Would you like to have the ward system back? Let's just use that. Would you like to have the ward system back?
Is it going back to all 4 wards? 1 would be town and 4?
Well, prior to amalgamation, there was 4 wards.
Okay, that's what I didn't know if you, or you meant just town and RM.
Yeah.
That's what I just wanted.
You still have 6, right? 2 in town, 4 wards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody want to?
Shirley's standing ready.
Shirley, sorry.
I'm short, so be quiet. We've always been on a ward system since I came on council. But now that we've amalgamated, I think it's critical that the council that comes into place has to be aware of all the issues, all the concerns, whether they're in town or in the RM or at the resort, it doesn't matter where. So therefore, I think councillors have to kind of open their minds a bit more and recognize that because you live in the RM but you're a councillor there, means that you should not be concerned at all about what is happening within the town, and vice versa as well. And televised meetings, I don't have a problem with that either. I think it brings maybe a little bit better behavior from councillors and head of council, maybe less swearing, being more polite to each other, as well as giving everybody the right to speak on a topic or a question, whatever it might be. And I think it would shorten the council meetings, because a lot of times I think that we ramble on. I sit on, well, I don't even know, I can't even think of how many committees I sit on, and all our meetings are on Zoom. What used to take us 2 hours, we now do it in 1 hour, because we do not have time. You're limited to your number of hours that you can be on Zoom. So therefore, it makes you, I think, more efficient and more to the point, and maybe less coffee breaks. I don't know.
Okay, it says, since our RCMP left, we've had an increase in criminal activities, slow response times for the RCMP, and slow response times for ambulance. How do you feel council should or can better make community safety a priority?
Excuse me. I live on the street that is the official drug pickup place.
Good for you.
No, I'm saying ours is the main one right now. Right now. I know that there's other ones. There was in the summer, right? No, right now, the ones at the trailer at 10 Crocus Road is the main one. There is 168 vehicles that go by every single day, and they park in the elevator, and they directly look at all of our homes. We don't know what they're doing. That's not okay. I have young kids. I talked to somebody who was scared for their life, and she was approached saying they're taxpayers. It's not worth their tax-paying money to have them here. 100%. Why are we welcoming them? Why are we not just standing up for ourselves and saying, get out? Why? They can block off that stop sign, every vehicle that parks there on any road. Any road. They can park there and run in and get their drugs. My child was the one that found like 10 bags of cocaine and 8 bags of meth. That is not okay.
I too can speak on crime, as we were had a home invasion this past summer, so this is definitely a priority for me. And after our home invasion, I have written letters to the MLA, and I will continue to pursue it, and we are still in the works with the Crown about the situation. So yes, that is a very big concern of mine too.
Your turn first. Thanks. I'll be third. Yeah, those are very serious issues, and I think, again, we have to be very concerned. And probably the best, council can do is hold our senior levels of government accountable to provide services. To go back and say we could get a detachment, that's a real long shot in the promise, or something I don't think I'd even want to say, but make sure our detachments around us are fully staffed so they have that capacity to act in a timely way, but also have the presence so they can deter some of this crime. And I think it's a role for probably the AMM to lobby those our provincial and federal governments to make these a priority. I know the federal government wants to actually decrease services to rural communities with RCMP and the contracts. So it's a serious issue, and I think that's probably the best path forward. It's serious crime, and I know how people feel. They're scared, and it's really unacceptable for a community like this.
I'm luckier than some of the other people up here who have already answered this question, because I have not really been directly affected by this yet, but it is directly affecting a lot of people, and it is probably the biggest problem we have right now. And when I came up here, that's what I said. I think we need to do whatever we can right away. We need to lobby for more police presence. Yeah, it's probably not super likely that we're going to be seeing another RCMP detachment opened up here in any, foreseeable time period. But can we get more police in town? Can we, as a community, take the time to send out patrols or people to keep an eye on things? If we were to do that, how do we do that safely? We're sending citizens out to do surveillance. Many communities do that, and we could do that too, but we need to make sure we're safe doing that. I think we need to basically come up with whatever solutions we can, and I think we also need to try to address some of the root causes. It's not the same thing, but if we were having a wave of break-ins where every 2 weeks 5 homes got broken into and somebody stole all the food out of the pantry, well, that we need to deal with the fact that we have all these break-ins, but it seems like people need food. So in addition to just working to address the symptoms, can we work with some sort of health department to get support for people with addictions? Can we do anything else?
On the question of crime, I just want you to know that as a council, we meet regularly with the RCMP. We meet with them at convention. And I always have one question, and I feel like they're trying to silence me. And my question is this. The RCMP is a federal agency contracted to the province to supply a service that they're not able to supply. They cite all kinds of reasons. It is we cannot recruit. When we do recruit, they're gobbled up by city police, and we have this thing called maternity leave. And so we're always shorthanded. So my question is, If you are always shorthanded, yet you contract to the province, where's that money? Where's the money that you've agreed to provide this service for, and then you come back and tell us you're not able to do it because you don't have the members, you don't have the staff? So that's my question, and I have not been able to find an answer to that question.
That question was asked many, many times, Ross, every time we met with the RCMP. They moved out, I believe it was 2014, just before, or 2013 maybe, just before we amalgamated our two municipalities. And the reasoning behind all that was because we had no crime. Our crime rate was so low, there was no need to have a detachment here and 4 staff members. And they had done the same thing. I can't remember really when it was. It was 1989, maybe someone remembers better than I do. When we had, obviously they did the same thing. They said they're pulling out the RCMP because we had no crime. So there was a girl was murdered. It was during the Rossburn Festival, and she was murdered, and all of a sudden we had crime, we had all the police, we had the detachment back, we had RCMP officers stationed here, and I don't know, I'm hoping that it doesn't take a murder to bring them back. Like, I don't know, they're under federal jurisdiction. We do not pay for policing. If your population is below 750, the policing is paid for by the province or by the, yeah. So we're not paying extra for having police service here. Initially, when they were pulling out, they had said to us, well, Dakota TP is in Wagway, and they were trying to figure out a program as to, and a kind of a partnership as how they could cover for us, because we are policed, Russell, Roblin, and you have people coming all the way from Roblin to work here or check on crime or whatever. So, sorry. I'm long-winded.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Should I let it go, Ray?
Let her go.
Okay. In the past, I was a police officer many, many years ago. I've been out longer than I was in. Society has failed everybody. We've permitted it to go that way. And how do we get it back? Our judicial system has no deterrent whatsoever. If somebody's picked up on anything whatsoever due to COVID, other than the Bail Reform Act, it's right out the window. They're released on the undertaking for a court appearance that may be 7 months down the road. So you have everybody on the streets over and over and over again. They don't have enough manpower. The provincial government has all kinds of vacancies that are paid for, but there's no membership there. We as a community have to get together, and a lot in here, I see a lot of faces around that I do numerous walks every day. And it's all concerning, but we have to get together as a group. And I know it's hard, you got to pick up the phone, and it doesn't matter what it is, and phone it in. I grew up on a farm. If you didn't know which vehicle was going down the road, you were looking. People nowadays, they don't have a clue. A vehicle goes by, sorry, you have to be more involved. It's the way it's changed, society's changing that way, and it's going to get worse, not better. We're relatively good here. You can go to a big city like Winnipeg or Regina, and you'll get your eyes opened. I don't know what the answer is. I know I would like to see a range patrol, community watch, neighborhood watch, but it's unsafe for a lot of people. You don't know what you're coming up against. Sorry, Brian. I guess I'm out. Thank you.
This question, I'm gathering it's a satellite ambulance service, but it said, would you like to see a satellite system here in Rossburn for ambulance service? Now, that's kind of what we had, was it? Wasn't that what we had before? When we had the ambulance here, we were a satellite. We really weren't. Yeah. So does anybody want to answer that, or are we kind of a weird question?
Well, I believe that's what we had when we had ambulance services here in Rossburn in the first place. But the way the system runs, they didn't always allow our ambulance to go somewhere. If there was a transfer to Winnipeg, they would take the one that was sitting, the extra one in Russell or Shoal Lake or whatever. So then our ambulance wasn't being utilized at certain times. And so they took the numbers away and said, okay, we don't need it. We'll put the bodies back in other facilities and have a bigger centers and have it. Yes, it would be nice to have here. It would be nice to have it 50%, every community have one, or at least in a 50-mile radius, so that your times for the ambulance to get to somebody's place, because if you're coming from Russell and going all the way up Ojai area, you might as well just start digging, to be honest, because the ambulance won't get there. And you know, we do need something, because now I read the other day, Minnedosa Hospital had no services, emergency services, and soon we're going to lose even those facilities. So we need to keep on top of all our healthcare services and keep them as close as possible.
I can't think of the year that it was, but the provincial government turned around and said the system we currently have doesn't work. We're going to revamp it, we're going to change it. And as such, we lost our ambulance here. One of the things that they said at the time was, we're going to make sure that 95% of the people living in Manitoba will have access to ambulance service within 30 minutes, 90% of the time. At that time, I took a look where we live out on Rossburn Lake and realized I'm not one of that 95%. I'm one of the 5%, which means if anything happens to me, my wife is going to have to try to load me into a truck and rush me to Russell. It did actually happen once where I had to rush off to Russell because I wasn't sure what was happening. I don't think there's anybody up here that will say, no, we don't want a satellite ambulance service. Yes, we do. So what can we do as a community to get it here? I don't know if this government is willing to listen to us. The only thing that I can promise to you is if it's a priority for us all, then we will go to government. We will go to AMM at convention. We will sit down with those people and we will tell them why it's important for us. Our community is aging. That might mean we might need the ambulance service more. But we also need people that know this area. Right now, my thing is turn down Road 139 and look for the number 6 sign, because that's where it is. Turn south at the lake, not north of the lake. We need to make sure that the people that are serving this area know this area. That's what will speed up response time. It's the same with the RCMP. In order for them to speed up the response time, they need to know where to go. So how do we get that trained in as well? I think we need to bring those services here, and whoever's designing where the ambulance go, ask them, do they know where to go? Do they know where Sunset Point is? Do they know where all of our namesakes are that we use? Rafina Hall? Do they know where that is? Because that's part of the points where we go by. Thank you.
I mean, again, yeah, nobody's going to say, no, we shouldn't have an ambulance. We absolutely do need to try to get that service back. It would improve our response times a lot, and that makes a huge difference. I'm not going to stay up here long because there's nothing new that needs to be added, really. But I do want to say, because I've been out on some calls with the fire department, and I mean, well, they're doing their best, doesn't change anything, but the people we do have coming in the ambulances from other communities do as best they can. They have like cheat sheets on where to find things around here or in Wayway or other communities. They call ahead and say like, okay, give us instructions. What are we looking for? Where are we going? So, I mean, I do just want to at least give credit and say that those people who are responding are trying very hard to make the best of a situation that they didn't cause either.
Thank you, Brian. I'd like to go back to what Rick said about society changing. And I think that is the core of what has gone wrong with RCMP, with ambulance, with all emergency services. We've been sold this bill of goods about, they call it regionalization. And maybe the concept is okay, but those regions continue to grow and to expand, and we lose the personal touch. And we're lost in the shuffle. We're a small community. But we had something that worked, and society has shifted. And it's now that regional approach, and the regions are so big that we have lost all of our input, and it's become a sad situation.
Oh, here's one that'll make it a little lighter. If you received a $1 million grant to use for Rossburn, any way you want, what would you choose to do? And you can't put it in your pocket. Anyway, that was, I would imagine with $1 million, everybody has some pretty good ideas of what they would do with the money. That one we kind of covered already. Oh, okay. So is anybody that said, what are your views for promoting our lakes and resort areas for economic growth? What would you do? Like, what would you change? What would you add? What would you take away?
Can I come up?
Yeah.
Through Lawrence Maduke, when I was back on council, 4 years ago, Lawrence was right up on, as far as I know, on Patterson Lake and Takarak Lake and whatnot. And at that time, the brown trout and the rainbow trout was thriving. And we had people from Ireland and Australia coming. I don't know what's happened. I've been disengaged from it for 4 years. But getting those people from around that area back involved in it, being on council or having a committee or whatever, the people from that area know that area the best. I mean, where the fish were getting out in Takarak, I believe it was, or Olha Lake, like that in itself is an important fact of it. So having the people from that area help out would be immense, and of course promoting it. Once again, we had people from Australia, from different continents coming for we had the Canadian fly fishing, we had youth fly fishing. I don't know whatever happened to it. Once again, I was disengaged, but the Game and Fish was really heavily involved. I don't know what's happened with that, but it has to come back, because once everybody's said already, tourism is huge for our area, and we have the water, we have the lakes, and we have the fish. And so let's get them back.
I think with the chamber, they have the Tourism Manitoba book, I believe it's called, where we have, it advertises all our lakes and everything we have. But also, why not have on our Rossburn website, like a video off the lakes, what we have, so that when people go, they could see the beautiful colors, they could see everything. Show what resorts are available, not just in the lakes and there's so much to offer here. What do we have to draw people into our communities? You know, we do have skating, we have hockey, we have curling, you know, we have all these support things in town, baseball, golf. Have a little bit of blurps on every little bit and show everybody what we have, and then everybody prospers. We can't make more farmland, but we can draw people in to live here and buy our places, and make a book or go along with the chamber and work on that tourism book, but also a video that shows what we have in our community and have it on our Rossburn website.
gotta quit coming up. I gotta sit down more. But based on that one, the other thing we do, there's a great free resources that we can start using. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those. Twitter is a 200-word kind of quick thing as to what's happening. We just need to have someone set it up and get it rolling. Hashtag the @ whatever it is, but you want to we've got people that come out for fly fishing. It'd be nice to get pictures put out on that. You got people out on the lake boating, get pictures of that, putting out, promoting it. That will expand it out to the world. You used to promote tourism with little books that came out, or you'd go to a tourism convention. Today we can go beyond that. We've got a video that can be used. We put a quick blurb onto it on the video. It goes out throughout the world. You can send it out through different points of interest as well. That will hopefully bring other people in to promote it.
Just a little tidbit to support the CDC once again. They did actually do a video that actually showcases Rossburn, a whole bunch of different seasons of the year and different activities. I think they're just in the process right now of how to get it out to the public. Twitter maybe is one of them. But it actually was discussed just at our last meeting. So they're baby steps, but they are moving in the right direction.
Weren't you up here before?
No. Kelly will kill me if I don't say anything. I mean, the Chamber of Commerce, she does put out a lot of stuff on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot. I mean, kudos to you and for doing that. So it is there.
Thanks, John. Okay, this next one is a basic question. I don't know. I guess you can either go yea or nay. It says, as a councillor, do you feel that tenders should be rewarded based on getting the best possible deal for the taxpayer, or should be rewarded based on supporting local business? So I guess hypothetically, if you were doing gravel, do you take the price from some guy in Timbuktu because it's lower than Joe Smith who lives down the road? Did you want me to answer it?
We have lots of contractors for different tasks, and 95% of them, maybe 99% of them are most capable. I've always believed that you feed your own first. That being said, if you're not doing the job, you got to be held accountable, and that's all there is to it.
Okay. Maybe you should just stay up there.
Okay. I think we've been pretty fortunate thus far. We do have contractors that provide a varied amount of services in our municipality. I do believe that the lowest tender is the one that gets it. It's the same thing as you go shopping for yourself. You always look for your own pocket, but we're looking after your pocket, so we do have to go for the lowest price as long as the service is provided. And thus far, I think we have been well served by our local contractors.
I was really going to say exactly just what Ed said. As for the last 4 years, we've been very lucky that our local contractors have been given the contract because they have been the lowest compared to our surrounding other contractors.
Well, that's what the old timers would have referred to as a $64 question. So here's the other side of the question. If we were to say only local businessmen can get that contract, how would that affect us if neighboring jurisdictions said the same thing and disallowed them from bidding? It's that thing. We have been fortunate. We have had some local contractors that were the lowest tender, and that is a good place to be. So I think it's a concept that requires some serious thought.
Okay. Okay, it says, do you feel our main street / downtown is healthy and successful? If not, what would you do to help change that and better support our local businesses? It's a tough one, really.
Shirley's coming. Shirley's coming.
Yeah.
Thank you. We used to have the Main Street Manitoba program with the provincial government, and that's gone as well. So if we could once again buy back into a program where we cost share 50-50, or they give us 75 and we put in 25%. Our Main Street is actually very nice, I think, personally. There's a couple of empty buildings, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't be filled. If we have some entrepreneur that wants to come in and set up a business. We also used to have the incentive program where if you started a business, we would give you a discount on your taxes or no tax for a year or two. There would be a discount on your water, and that is something that perhaps we should be looking again at and bringing that incentive back, which might entice someone from even a different country. If they could set up a business that we don't have yet, that would be perfect, because we always want, instead of driving to Brandon for certain things, could we shop locally and sustain our community as we should?
Okay. Pile's getting smaller here. Amazing how many questions relate to tourism, economic growth. Most of them are the same. Oh, here's one. Do you feel that a public works foreman is necessary, or do you feel that if you are elected, it should be part of your job to dispatch workers throughout the municipality? Not happening, right? Okay. I just threw it in there because I'm running out of them here. Eh? Yeah. No. Okay, well, what we could do here, there's one here that everyone could answer, so we'll give everybody a shot, and that'll close it off. Where did it go? Here it is. What is the number one reason that you have for sitting on council? Number one. Only one. Don't expand, don't give me a 2-minute speech. The number one reason. And we're going to go backwards from where we were before. Everybody gets to answer. You go.
Then mine won't be the same as everybody's.
Okay.
My number one reason would be to give back to my community.
It's better standing up first, right? And then my number one reason would be to have all of your concerns heard, because we've all been there at one point.
Okay. Where are you going, John?
Is it okay? Change it up. Mine's a little selfish. I love being part of the solution.
Let's just go around. You're the only one that hasn't in the next 2 years. And then Drew. And work our way around this way.
I would have to say to help the community grow, just to help start things and get things going, just to help it grow all in general.
I'm a history teacher, so sometimes I'm kind of old school. I believe that it is every person's job to do whatever they can to help their community. And I think I would be able to help the community. Hopefully I'm right.
very important to keep the services and facilities we have. There are treasures, we have to maintain them. Small towns are suffering, we got to maintain what we've got, and we've got to keep those roads and infrastructure in good shape. I'd like to be part of that to solve those problems.
Number one reason for me is I want to see this community not just survive, but thrive.
I guess I would fall back on saying getting the work done, maintaining our infrastructure, and getting it done efficiently. And that'll give the municipality an opportunity to grow in many other ways.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We are a community, and I'm proud to say that we're a part of it, and I'm going to do the best to make it that much better. I have some good contacts to make it work. Thank you all.
Honestly, it's because I believe I bring a unique perspective to the council's discussions with my experience being on with the teachers executive that I belong to, that I can bring another viewpoint to a lot of the discussions in order to open up the possibility of options. Plus everything they said.
I truly love our community and I love people and I want to be here to help and I have the time to do it and I just want to see Rossburn grow and expand and everybody have something that they can look forward to. Thank you.
I'd like to see agriculture stay number one, and healthcare, of course, and make sure everybody feels safe in their homes.
I want to see Rossburn thrive, stay alive, and be safe.
Well, that covers everything. Don't forget we have cookies. Is it cookies? I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. I'd like to thank all these people for answering as many of these questions as we could answer. Some questions, we didn't answer them, a lot of them are too detailed for people that haven't been in council before.
Can we actually ask the question that you asked, but you didn't give anybody a chance to answer about the public works? Yeah. We have a chance to go around that? Yeah, we have an answer. Oh, the public works. Yeah.
Yeah?
It just, you asked it and I was going to get up and then you moved to the next question.
Well, no, but I think we kind of decided that a councillor is not going to dispatch the workers to cut grass. Is that what we kind of decided there?
Oh, so we're not, okay, that's fine.
Right?
Leave it.
Anybody wants? Right here?
Yeah, if we need the position.
The question was, do you feel that a public works foreman is necessary? Or do you feel that if you are elected, it should be part of your job to dispatch workers throughout the municipality?
Yeah, I can answer that. Can I answer this question?
Sure.
First. Being on council for the last 4 years is kind of a two-part question. Going back to the ward question, because I didn't get a chance to come answer that one either. I wouldn't mind seeing go back to the 5 wards. Some people wouldn't, but whatever. If we went back to the ward system, we definitely do not need a public works supervisor. Councilors be in charge of their own spot. Not having a public works supervisor right now, and councilors aren't telling people where to go cut grass. Our staff that we have in place right now have stepped up and filled the position that I think with a little more training, we may be able to get by, but it's a lot of extra work, relying more on the office staff. I know our public works guys, Colton, Jason, and Dave have stepped up and carried most of the leadership on their own, and I applaud them for that too. So it's kind of a hit and miss question as how you want to go forward with it. Either expect the staff to do a little more work, or have the guy in charge that's running around checking roads and rely on councilors less. So it's hard because I've been told from other councilors that it's not our mandate to be checking roads and driving stuff, that's up to our staff, but I've taken on myself that I have been doing it, so it's a tricky question.
Yep, that's why we didn't do anything.
I don't mind that. That's my opinion.
Okay, so we've got some time here, so anybody up here who wants to come up here and do a little closing. Oh, you didn't write a second speech? No? To do a little closing presentation. We'll start on this side. You can get up or not, whatever. And we still have a timer.
Yes, I know. I'm not going to tap dance or dance on the table for you either, but I would like to make sure, and I ask you all to please get out and vote on the 26th of October. It's our privilege to be allowed to vote, and I think it's something that we all should do. And thank you for attending. And as far as the foreman, Public Works foreman is concerned, I would like to see a job description before I put any other comments forward. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and please come out and vote. We're counting on you.
I'd feel bad if you didn't.
I know you would. Yeah, just thank you for everybody, and I hope to vote on October 26th. And good luck.
I want to thank everybody for coming out also, and I think a lot of everybody knows me pretty much here, and I've been on many committees, and I feel that I can do the job. We need people that have the time to do the job. I have time to research it. I can be very stubborn if I want to, and so I think that I could have a strong voice for everybody, and I won't get pushed over. If I have a strong belief, I will stand up for it, and I won't make a decision unless I truly believe that it's the right decision for everybody, not just one segregated area or anything. It has to be the best for the whole community. As far as the public maintenance supervisor, I think those positions are important. Councillors come and go. Maybe it's going to be a whole new council or not, but if your public works or your office staff have things written down, what do they do in January? What do they do in February? What do they do in March? Doesn't matter if that public works person leaves. They should have a binder saying what was expected, where they put the roads in, when this grass was cut, how often it needed cutting. These kind of things should be monitored and kept track. I'm sure you do it in the offices for different things. You have a pattern of stuff. We did it where I worked. You didn't just have somebody in a management position that wasn't responsible for knowing what was going on and be accountable for your own work.
So I get to add a little bit that I had to cut out of my first 2-minute speech. I'm hoping that you'll allow me to serve Rossburn Municipality for another 4 years. It was a large learning curve. There's a lot more that I've got knowledge about that I'd like to take forward. I stated earlier that I will bring your voice to the conversations, to the decisions. I will continue to review those budgets. I will go over the expense forms. I will make sure that what is happening is within making sure that the municipality is not putting itself in any danger. One of the things that I really wanted to talk about before, we usually bring everyone together in March around the budget time. You can come to a public meeting. I would like to have another public meeting. I'd like to hear from you within November. If I'm elected to come in to serve the municipality again, that's one of the things I'm going to push for. I think we need to have a town hall meeting more than just once a year. We need to have something to hear from you. Even if it's just simply to say, look, here's where the expenses are now. What do you think we need to do? What do we need? And it'll give us a chance to do better prep so that when it does come time for the budgets, we can answer those concerns. Getting more involved, the involvement out of the community is one thing that I would really like to see. If you vote for me to come in again for another 4 years, that's one of the things that I will push to do as one of the voices. Thank you.
Thank you all again for coming. It's a hard act to follow, Adam. You said everything explicitly. We're a community. Keep on working. We all have to work together. See you on the 26th.
Okay.
hard act to follow. Yeah, there's a lot of agreement around this group of candidates, which is good to see. I think there's a lot of like-minded people. Some of the things that came up late after the questions, I'm going to address the maintenance supervisor question. And I too want to see a job description that is well thought out. And I would support the job or the maintenance supervisor, but I think we need a person that can be a hands-on, take part in the workforce, run equipment, and in that I think we can support them. We talked about a little bit about, I want to see certainly transparency, and I think we have a group of candidates here, and I know I will. I want to be very certain that we don't become disconnected from the people that we're supposed to represent, from the landscape that we're supposed to know, and provide policy and decisions on. That's really important. So communication and transparency, and that we do our job in terms of being able to represent is very important, and I'll work hard at that. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for coming tonight. The simple fact that you're present here tonight tells me that you are engaged and you want to continue to be engaged, and I applaud that. And I think we should take a minute and give a round of applause to our moderator. It was a difficult job. Well done. And I just want to encourage you to exercise your right to vote. That it is very, very important that if you have an opinion, that you come out and mark your ballot. And so I encourage you to vote. Once again, thank you for coming.
Just briefly want to thank everybody who gave me the opportunity to serve for the last 4 years. Like others have said, it was a real learning curve for me too. Did we do everything right? Probably not, but I think deep down, the 7 of us on council tried our very best. It was a challenging term. I feel we did our best. I'm proud of what we did. I look forward to support from you for the next 4 years. I'm always open to hearing from you. That's the only way we can understand what the community is looking for from council. So if I'm elected again, please remember I'm always there to listen to your requests. Thank you once again.
I was going to talk a bit more about what I want to do and why everyone should vote for me, but I'll go in a bit of a different direction. I'm sure everybody up here is up here for the right reason, because we believe that we want to make this town as good as we can, this RM as good as we can, and that we believe we would be a positive force on council. If you all came out here to hear what we have to say, again, I'm sure we're all here to do the best job we can. If you want us in, if you want me or somebody else in, show up and vote for me or that other person. If you don't want me or that other person in, show up and vote for someone else. But I'm sure we're all going to do our best.
Like everyone else said, thank you for listening to all of us. I think everybody here has amazing qualities, and whoever does get onto council, I think it'll be good, and let's just start seeing a sense of community coming back.
I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. And I said quite a bit, so thank you.
Hope to see you guys out on October 26th. Put an X by my name, and you'll get someone that's hardworking and honest.
Okay, so I think we've had our fill of all these guys. I think they all come across as being, vote for me. I'm going to do the best job, which is exactly what they should do. It's up to you to decide who is going to do the best job. Because they each only get one vote, the same as the rest of us. So 26th, make sure you get out, because if the wrong people get in and you didn't vote, you really can't blame anybody. So anyway, I think the ladies have some, there's no hard liquor in there, is there? Oh, too bad, I'll have to go home. Anyway, good night, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.